Like Terraria with PvP.
But I want to play this.
No, you don't.
Like, PlayStation. In the loud house. Are you live right now? Yes. How does it show it? It's Ps5.
I'm reloading, yeah.
Look, creepy. Look. Oh, click on this video and then I go. Oh, whoops. That's it? That's how long it is? So what to my most recent video? Don't care, no one cares about it. Okay, now I'm gonna try going into this one. How do you freaking use it? No. P O B I 100. Oh! I know where it is! Hey! You know you're live right now. Everybody.
It's all about after an event like E3 2019, anything was possible. Anything. So E3 2020 didn't happen because of the molluscum outbreak. It was back in 2021, but those people taken out that situation. E3 2021 occurred as a virtual event. Different from other things.
Hello?
Press conferences with more documents. It was showcased. It seemed just as the press conference just not the party. So E3 2019 doesn't participate. It does their own thing separate from E3, but instead of it occurring the week before, it's a
Wait, stop doing that so I can get to the part where you are.
As per usual, we take a look at each company's showcase. Ubisoft still one of my key steps. The Ubisoft Port event.
There, I get it.
Ready?
Once you
Ubisoft
get
press
to
conferences are like sponges. Why are you watching? Ubisoft never really clicks with me a whole lot. No matter how good the press games are.
Okay, you can go now. I said don't move! Stop moving! Stay still!
I only saw 2 tickets. But then Ubisoft Port
Okay,
events
stay
like
still
that,
until I see
watching
you
cares
can
about
do it.
everything Ubisoft puts out if you played it.
Go!
Alright, so what's up first? Tom Clancy game is
Stay still for a second.
Rainbow Six Extraction. You can just make it and say how to keep like an extreme weapon for Rainbow Six. Aliens like to be honest. Tom Clancy. Does anybody else feel like within the past 4 years Ubisoft have been going way too hard with the Tom Clancy games?
No, wait, stay there.
I have never scared of Tom Clancy games. And if gamer doesn't care about something in any free showcase, that means it's filler, it's unneeded, it shouldn't exist, and need for you throwing. Ubisoft is adding this little flavor text to each of their titles now, a Ubisoft original. Gameplay is shown and it looks a whole lot worse than that CGI trailer. The game is fine, it's just another Tom Clancy game to me. Ubisoft already announced like 4 of them yesterday. New Rocksmith title, Rocksmith Plus. I think the subscription service model is annoying, but it's essentially this kind of thing. I respect this. Overall, I give Rocksmith Plus a half to Rise of the Republic. This is a fun-looking extreme sports style. Ways to race. Really good-looking environment. Yeah, you want me?
Hold on! Daddy! You're not gonna get a key?
Yes!
Yeah, what do you think? Look at it both. Look at it both if you want.
We are getting key. Oh, Dumbo.
One Rainbow Six Siege players
Don't have to come.
Of course, constant crossplay comes down the line. DLC trailers and Carlos says, how do you think are the only things to be excited about this year? Tons of updates are coming to already released games. No, it's kind of get E3 though, honestly. But at least they ended the update montage saying that it didn't Just Dance is back! Ubisoft makes Just Dance a part of their content every year, but they made Uno. They could think all these games may not be great, but I would have gladly taken a trailer for the Monopoly game they published compared to this year's Just Dance. Never do anything new, there's never any real announcement here, it's just it's coming this year. It's time to get our bike. Oh! Updates coming to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Again, like I said, this is good to know. I like seeing these games continue to get support. However,
my favorite PS5 game. Daddy, that was my favorite PS5 game.
Yeah, like talking about updates like this really makes anybody go, wow, I'm in. This is safe for like, Ubisoft Forward or when everybody is watching you end up talking about what's coming to an Assassin's Creed game where if they didn't buy it already, nothing you say here is probably ever going to convince them to buy it. This is really the reason everybody's nice, and this stuff we're about Sanity.
I'd like to see that new Smash Brothers character.
Look at the films and TV series Ubisoft is working on. The Mythic Quest is the film Werewolves Within, based on the game I've never heard of. Apparently it's a VR multiplayer game from 2015, so that gets a movie, but not Rayman and fans. Far Cry 6, I enjoy Far Cry, almost always well-made games. It's just similar to Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon. It's almost always here. It's the fact we're up to 6, and that's not even counting the side games like Primal and New Dawn. It's just not that exciting to get into Far Cry anymore. But this one still looks quality, though. Wow, what kind of awesome times. But they had the season pass announcement at the end. Films from previous games, and the fact that Far Cry 3's expansion Blood Dragon will be included in the pass game, surprised they didn't have Far Cry 7. Then we move into the next announcement. Off with Tom Clancy. Mario Plus Rabbids is getting a sequel, and this was leaked just a day beforehand on Nintendo's website, but this is pretty neat nonetheless. Sparks of Hope looks like a legitimate upgrade in every way, visual and scope. It's obviously more ambitious. However, this is like a weird game to toss into a series. It's a goofy one-off that surprised everybody with its quality. Yeah, for a sequel, this does still need to prove itself a bit more to me personally. The trailer seemed awfully nonchalant, like, yeah, this is happening again. I think it might have been cooler to me to see Ubisoft tackle another series of Nintendo's for a crossover with the Rabbids, or just a bit more. But it looks good, and the developers are a whole piece of truth to listen to. The Nintendo segment is over. Alright. But big enough to not show gameplay? Avatar. Well, that kind of stunk. Well, but trailer, I guess, but there's so much of a trailer I can watch after realize it's an Avatar game for me to care if you're not going to show the damn game. Well, Ubisoft was Ubisoft. I didn't expect, but it made me excited to tell my parents what I did the past hour. Just nothing that interesting, nothing horrendous. It was just kind of boring. Even Mario Plus Rabbids, that was the highlight of the show, and it getting leaked beforehand definitely deflated it a bit. But this crossover isn't nearly as mind-blowing as it was when it was first announced. Maybe a second time, well, cool. I'm happy it's here. It isn't blowing me away. I went into this one to be for tattoo. Also, this pet just skip for the rest. What's next on the schedule? Gearbox? Big things. Is anybody really expecting anything from this? There are certain companies, when I see they're doing an E3 show, might run. Gearbox talked about the Borderlands movie coming up. Said Homeworld 3 was...
Are you gonna write?
No.
Why? The rice is good. Try it.
He doesn't eat anything else except the chicken now. When you want to try it.
You like rice. Want to try the pizza?
Tiny Tina's Wonderland, a Borderlands spin-off. Homeworld 3 is still in production. Drivers of Midgard is coming in July. Godfall, the PS5 exclusive launch title that can only run on PS5. Damn it, they pushed through and got it to work on PS4. Then we finished with talking to Kevin Hart about nothing. What is Homeworld 3 in production? So I can already kind of tell what some companies are doing here. They wouldn't normally do a press conference, but because this is all virtual, they're displaying the games, they would have brought to E3, the stuff labeled at the show. I may not have anything worthy of a press conference here, but hey, at least Homeworld 3 is in production. The Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. I prefer Xbox and Friends. This took place on June 13th. This is the first E3 show after Microsoft bought Bethesda. The first E3 show after Microsoft launched their next generation of Xbox consoles, the Xbox Series X and S. This is a big E3 for Microsoft, which is what we say about every E3. This is actually big. And what better way to usher in such a big event than to show off the new mascot? Todd Howard. Starfield from Bethesda. Well, I got announced back at E3 2018. All that trailer really showed us was a Bethesda game in space. What year is it? Yes, after years of waiting, Starfield to me is still a Bethesda game in space. Like that sandwich, I don't know how to describe it. That's a Fallout sandwich. It just looks straight out of Fallout. The game looks like Fallout in space. Of course, that's without seeing gameplay because we didn't. But the art design, everything, it does feel like Bethesda through and through. And it's coming out in late 2022. See you next year, Stalker 2. Bitch. This game looks incredible visually. Honestly, something that seems to be only possible on newer hardware. It's seriously impressive. Back for Blood. What are you guys doing? You're ruining the Back for Blood press conference. It's always going to be Verizon. Xbox Game Studios presents, in partnership with Avalanche, a co-op open world, Contraband. Well, that was a nothing trailer. I mean, Microsoft has been announcing loads of games lately, but they almost always have nothing to show them. And if they're not in a pre-established franchise, I'm sorry, it's hard for me to get excited without seeing gameplay. I see a Thieves update featuring Pirates of the Caribbean. It's pretty cute. I'll buy 5 Xboxes. An ad for the entire Yakuza series on Xbox Game Pass. It's been a thing for a while now. This is the announcement of the latest game being available on the service today. Cool. I mean, Xbox Game Pass adds games every 2 minutes, so if they talk about how they're adding games to the service at E3, it's not like, oh my god, what? That also may be because I've been paying for this service for 36 months and I've turned on my Xbox 4 times since. Battlefield 2042 gameplay. I'm gonna be honest, this was one of the best gameplay trailers from E3 I've seen. No need for fancy CGI that makes you go, wow, they must really care if they're lying to me. It's just really exciting gameplay. This all looks excellent. Doesn't mean I'm gonna play it. 12 minutes. This was shown at Microsoft's E3 2019 conference, and this pretty much tells me the exact same thing. Psychonauts 2 is always a pleasure to see. For the 12th time. More Bethesda games are coming to Game Pass. They went there already? What is this where the Bethesda juice is kicking in? It's time for updates on their garbage! Fallout 76 and the Elder Scrolls Online updates. I always win E3 bingo. Party Animals, a multiplayer battle arena type game between all kinds of characters with snouts. I can tell this game was added to the lineup to help Microsoft meet the quota. Hades is coming to Xbox. That's great to see. It's always surprising this game wasn't on anything but Switch and PC for the longest time, but it definitely deserves to be played by all. You ever have those games from press conferences that you completely forgot about? Somerville is coming. Then we have this big segment about Halo Infinite. More of the story and multiplayer. It was delayed from a 2020 launch in holiday 2021, and being honest here, the original gameplay they showed, I thought it looked pretty alright. Visually, it wasn't impressive, but it wasn't bad. But the delay was obviously the right move, as the game looks substantially better. This is shaping up to be a solid title, but it's gonna have an epic campaign. Diablo 2 Resurrected, great remake with tons of value here. But where are the rats? A Plague Tale Requiem. Holy shit. I never thought about what makes sense for rat tech. Far Cry 6, because I was begging to see more. Far Cry has a strange tendency to have a super serious trailer, like at the Ubisoft Forward, and then the next trailer is like, whoa, my grandpa, dumbass. Slime Rancher 2, Xbox. Here we have a snowboarding game, Shredders. This is cool because we just don't get snowboarding games like we used to. The problem is, all this trailer did was show snowboarding.
Play on a PlayStation 4.
What makes this game unique? What makes it different? Because this new console can display the full speed rec. There's no excuse. Atomic Heart, this looks like a wild game. I just didn't know what I was looking at the time. Replace, this has this sprite-based art style with crazy lighting and depth and all that. It truly looks stunning. Grounded gets an update. Among Us is coming to Xbox. A Yuden Chronicle. These
Baby, did you hear? Among Us is going to Xbox.
Games make everybody go, but your Xbox. The Ascent. Pretty much any co-op game in this angled top-down style. I don't know why it's usually an automatic turn-off for me. I have very specific turn-ons. Age of Empires 4 for PC. Then The Other Worlds 2 is announced. A tongue-in-cheek trailer poking fun at the fact that it's being announced too early. I think that's great, but it doesn't highlight my biggest problem with Xbox right now. Raise your hand if you remember the name of the new game by Avalanche announced in this press conference. Come on, I was trying to make a point. They are non-stop announcing games too early, with nothing to show, and it's just getting irritating at this point. Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to Xbox Series X and S, which is great. This game looks super cool, and to have it on something other than a PC, which for some reason I just can't use, it will be awesome. Forza Horizon 5. Announced and will release before the next mainline Forza Motorsport, which was announced in 2020, and the next Fable game, which is being made by the same developer as Forza Horizon 5. Because my god, logic makes sense. Horizon 5 looks gorgeous. In Mexico, they had nailed every little detail, but car games like this just always look the same to me perfectly. I still think the Forza for 5 years back looks fantastic. There's only so much more they can constantly improve. Phil Spencer comes out. Thanks for the rats. And things out on Redfall, a vampire co-op shooter by Arcane and Bethesda. Thank you! Well, that's over. But not a game to end things out on, gameplay or anything. If I would compare the idea of this to anything, it's like Left 4 Dead, but with fangs. They already showed Left 4 Dead's spiritual successor in this presentation with Back 4 Blood, so it's like, why act like this is the one game to end it all with?
Maybe I'll put up Miraculous.
I think it would have made for a better
Ladybug song.
Xbox. The general consensus online was that was a good
We're
show.
going my stream.
It's a little lower, and I think Xbox has rarely had a bad press conference. Even their worst ones from the Connect days, those are treasures. When an Xbox showcase is bad, it's glorious. When it's good, it's kind of just generically good to me. They almost always tout how this is the largest and most diverse lineup in Xbox history, saying, we're going to show you 50 games, 40 of them you've already seen, and are just completely random out of nowhere titles you're going to forget about in 5 minutes. I always feel like Xbox showcases games that are kind of a table scratch from what Nintendo and Sony aren't showcasing in their presentations. But they are making great strides with exclusive games. Just so many of them are just CGI trailers. We have nothing to go off of. We know Fable and Perfect Dark and Hellblade 2 and Everwild and The Outer Worlds 2 and State of Decay 3 and Contraband and Redfall and Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 are coming out, but we basically know nothing to just have CGI trailers of them, and I'm just sick of it. And Bethesda really didn't have much going on here. Like, if Xbox didn't purchase them and they had their own press conference, what the hell would they show? But Xbox Game Pass was pushed heavily here, with most of the games being slated to be a part of the service, which is fantastic. Overall, Xbox, as usual, had a good one here. It's just, it didn't make me feel anything. It was mostly stuff I fully expected and nothing that crazy, but it was pretty alright. Square Enix held their Square Enix Presents less than an hour after Xbox, well, wasn't much time to recover. I can only be so lukewarm. I get really tired after seeing something okay. Well, Square's presentation starts off with the reveal of a new game by Eidos Montreal, Guardians of the Galaxy. Please tell me more for 2 hours. So Square Enix published the Marvel's Avengers game, which wasn't really what a lot of people wanted. Thus, the idea of them doing another Marvel game isn't all too thrilling. However, this one was pretty good. Guardians just seems to be a well-made single-player adventure. Solid visuals, voice acting, gameplay looks decent enough. I think this will be a quality game. This demo wouldn't end. I think this game would have left a far greater impact if it was just a trailer in the Xbox showcase. But after this was all done, they announced the Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters. They're re-releasing the first 6 Final Fantasy games on platforms that already have most of them. Square Enix fans, does this ever happen to you? Alright, listen, I get it. Square likes to release a lot of their old games on PC and mobile. Sometimes it feels like they do it there first as a test, but why aren't these on consoles right now? They were console games. The consoles currently don't have any means of playing any of these games. Mobile platforms have all these games already. You can play 1 through 6 on smartphones right now, and PC has 4 of them. What the hell is the point of any of this? Legend of Mana's opening cutscene is played, Avengers get some updates. A ton of mobile games are detailed because the E3 audience loves it. Square, my fingers are too dirty to play mobile games. Babylon's Fall is shown, the Platinum Games production. It's a live games as a service title, and it looks like ass. I'm sold. A ton on Life is Strange, a remaster collection, and the next entry, True Colors. Life is Strange is something that you're either into or you're not, and no trailer for any game in the series is ever going to convince you otherwise. Then, one final game, a new Final Fantasy spin-off, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. It's supposed to be a modern action game based on the first Final Fantasy game. This game could be anything. It doesn't feel like Final Fantasy, it looks like a generic hack and slash. Like a fine way to end things, I guess. At least they showed us something new. But describing the game, an action RPG based on the world of the first Final Fantasy, my mind goes in a lot more cool places than what this trailer is. And that was the Square Enix Presents at E3. I didn't like it. What was the point of this? The more time passes, the less Square Enix seems to have it all together. They don't seem to be replicating a lot of the problems Capcom had a few years back, where they were trying so desperately to appeal to America. When in reality, if you just do what people know you for, you'll be just fine. Like who's thinking, oh, Square Enix, I want them to make Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't think this presentation was terrible, but it was most certainly not good. There were some announcements that weren't that bad. Things like quality, and I feel like Stranger of Paradise would be alright, but everything in the middle, it's like, look at the sandwich. There's pure mucus in the middle, but the bread's okay.
Yes!
Guys, I'm signing up for Verizon. They're gamers too! Verizon V3 show on June 14th. What do you think they're gonna announce? It doesn't matter. They're gamers! Verizon is one of those companies who know nothing about gaming, but they're tech-based, so they see how large gaming is, and they feel the need to jump in on the conversation. Just look at how companies like Google and Amazon talk about gaming compared to Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft. They don't get it. They always overact about gaming, trying to overcompensate to prove to people that they were
What?
In reality, they don't actually know.
Okay.
Gaming isn't a passion. It's a right. The PlayStation Vita will be under Verizon though. Well, 5G data speeds are here. They're gonna help us do esports and develop games and watch games online. I just care so much about
Don't do that somewhere else. It's so noisy.
video games. It's an advertisement for Verizon Internet.
Stupid
It was
thing.
still better than Gearbox. Capcom had the showcase later that day, saying they were going to show Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 2, the Great Ace Attorney, and an update on the fighting games. I wonder what they're going to show. Start off with Resident Evil Village. That's a surprise. Since the game is already out, they say, the game is already out. Here's Monster Hunter Stories 2. Much like Resident Evil Village, this game is a thing. Monster Hunter Rise gets an update, Great Ace Attorney gets a trailer, then the Capcom employee explains the trailer, then esports. What the hell was that? Alright, so a virtual-only E3. I gave Xbox a golf clap. The rest of the conferences, Game Maker clap. It's up to Nintendo, and Bandai Namco presents House of Ashes to save the event. Hopefully one of them shows more. The Nintendo Direct for E3 2021. On June 15th, of course, for being a Nintendo fan I am, I was expecting underdogs. It's structured just like any regular Nintendo Direct, which is interesting, only their E3 Directs are very different pacing and style-wise. The first announcement is Kazuya from Tekken is coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Fine! This is a character announcement that doesn't upset me, it doesn't do much for me. We already have 3 fighting game characters in the game.